What's up, y'all? We are back. This is episode 8, I believe, of the Washington Nationals Out of the Park Baseball 24 series. We're here July 11th, first year player draft, and the Washington Nationals are 49-40. It's been a lot of good and a lot of bad as well. So the offense has been really good. You can see down the order, there's really no weak link. Carlos Correa has been struggling recently, but he got off to a red-hot start to the year. His April and May were fantastic. June, he really faltered, and July has not been great, but overall, he's been worth 2.5 WAR, on pace for 4.5, which we'll definitely take. And he's playing a great shortstop at the moment, so he's been worth it so far. Maybe not offensively, but he's still been good offensively for the most part. But this is all levels. Okay, so let's sort by WAR. James Wood has been awesome. He got off to a really hot start to the year. Check out his April 163 WRC plus. May was a little rough, but June and July have been great. He's been killing it. His ratings have dropped off again, but he continues to produce. So hopefully he'll stay at this all-star level. Trenton Grisham, what a pickup he has been, playing over his head, on pace for 4.5 WAR, 119 WRC plus. He's been awesome. We still have him for another season. I don't expect him to keep this up, but if he's a 90 WRC plus guy playing a great center field, we will definitely take it. And Yasiel Antuna, a guy I've kept on the team, even though he's not a great personality guy, just because I really like his overall game. He's a good third baseman, good enough, I guess. He's been playing a little bit of DH as well, but he's been awesome. 124 WRC plus, on pace for 4 WAR. He's been great in our leadoff spot. Keibert Ruiz, pretty much same story. He hasn't been great defensively. He's been worth negative 4.5 framing runs. But his offense is made up for it. He's got a 128 WRC plus, on pace for 3.5 WAR, about the same season he had last year. A few less home runs. The slug is a little bit down, but overall he's been a really nice piece. Luis Garcia has been solid. Pretty much, he's been this player for the last 3 seasons now, so we kind of expect it from him. He's been playing a lot of first base, some right field recently. As we've made some, I guess he was playing right field. Hassel was really struggling. I guess we can get him out of the way. He's kind of played his way out of my future plans at this point. He's a good leader, which is good. But he's just a corner outfielder, doesn't really hit at all. He hasn't hit, I guess he hit pretty well last year, but he was hurt. And this year has been split in time between the majors and minors and hasn't done too much. So the train's probably, left the station on Hassel, but he still has a shot to be a piece moving forward. He's probably not a star. Tommy White's been awesome. I kind of forgot how he started out the year. Yeah, he's just been pretty consistent. July, he's been crushing it so far in 33 plate appearances. He's not... This is kind of the guy we drafted. This is the kind of guy he is. It's a good player. Maybe not worth the first overall pick in hindsight, but there was really nothing else, and he was still a good pick. And then the big story, Stanley Tucker. So he was a 19th round pick in 2024, and was just crushing it in AAA this season. So I had to get him on the team. We were kind of lacking some offense, and he's only played in 18 games, but he's been incredible. 154 WRC plus, walking 15% of the time, which is totally sustainable with his eye. I expect the strikeouts to go up for sure. But he also is rocking a pretty low BABIP, so I think he can be a long-term second baseman for us. And he also plays a pretty good outfield, so maybe he's our super utility guy moving forward. Considering Trey Lipscomb has fallen off big time. I think he got off to a really good start in April. In May and June were just awful months for him. July, he's picked it up a bit, but overall, he hasn't been as good as he was the last few seasons. We'll still give him a shot, but, his ratings don't really line up with the production he gave us last year, so he's kind of got a short leash here, but he's been okay. Nicky Lopez has been surprisingly good as our backup infielder. He was actually starting at second base for a little bit. CJ Abrams has been out. Sorry, it's been a couple days since I opened this up, but CJ Abrams has been out. He wasn't really doing too much, but He was also playing some right field, so it's just kind of how it worked. And Nicky Lopez found his way in the lineup and was pretty good, all things considered. Plays a good second base, can play some shortstop. He's a valuable piece. Moises Gomez started the year on the opening day roster. I don't know what the heck I just did. Shoot. I put him there. Okay. Yeah, he started the opening day on our roster. He wasn't necessarily horrible, but I forgot I had to bring up a pitcher, I think, just because we were rocking 12 pitchers to start the year. So I sent him back down, and I called him back up because we kind of need a righty bat to play against lefties here. So he'll probably slot in there, do something like that probably. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So anyway, yeah, he hasn't been great, but limited plate appearances, you know. And then Israel Pineda, he's a captain, not a great defender or anything, and has been horrible this year in limited time, but was crushed in AAA last year, so I'm going to give him an extended run as our backup catcher. It's not that important because Ruiz is such a stud. And then on the pitching side, yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So Paul Skeens was absolutely miserably bad. I think he developed bad work ethic at some point because I don't remember him drafting him with bad work ethic. I could be wrong on that, but I don't remember that being a part of his personality at all. You kind of check out his month by month. It's been bad pretty much all year. April, May, June is horrible. July, he's been pretty decent in 2 starts. But the home run ball has killed him this season. He's given up 1.8 per 9, which is way higher than it was last year. And he's looking more like his rookie year self where he was giving up way too many home runs. He's walking way too many guys this year. So, you know, there's promise. He had a good start last time. And, you know, there were a couple decent starts in here. But also, these were really rough. And I don't know. We need him to bounce back because our pitching is pretty shallow behind him. Walker Buehler has been fantastic. On pace through 220 innings of 3.38 ERA ball. He's been great on pace for 6.1 RWAR. Been worth every penny. And he's made all of his starts. He wants a big extension. Not sure if we can afford it at this point. But we'll see. Maybe we look at that in the offseason. Yarlene Susana is up finally with the team. He was crushing it in AAA, so gave him a shot. He's made a couple of relief appearances, made his last start, and made his first start in the majors and pitched 6 shutout innings, so super excited for him. He's the number 29 prospect in baseball now. Kid Cavalli's been solid. Nothing spectacular, but a good 4-starter, and Tink Hence has split time between the rotation and bullpen. Check out his splits. As a reliever, he's been really good. So I gave him a couple starts, and it hasn't been great, but he's better than the other options that we've been running out there. We kind of mentioned that his ratings dropped off after I traded for him, but he's still looks like a decent arm. So I'm not gonna give up on him yet. Then in the bullpen, it's been a complete revolving door. Rafael Montero settled in as our closer, but he was miserable to start the season. His April was rough, but check out his May and June. He was lights out. So we've kept him in the closer's role throughout all of this. And, yeah, he's been okay. And then Cole Henry's been phenomenal once again. He just keeps getting better, man. You know, he finished, I think, like 3rd in reliever of the year last year. I'd have to look, but he was an all-star. And check out every year as a reliever. He's gotten slightly better. Or even marginally better. Like, big time improvements every season. Yanir Cano's had a bounce-back season. He's been great. Andrew Vasquez has been solid in middle relief. And then these last 3 spots in Patrick Sandoval, who was not great as a starter, so I sent him to the bullpen. He's been good there. But, yeah, these last 3 spots have kind of rotated. Jack Anderson's gotten a lot of time, 15 innings up. He's been okay. Miguel Gomez has gotten some time as well, 9 innings. Jorge Vera just got called up, but the revolving door, Belgrave started the year on the roster. He was just walking way too many guys. He wasn't really effective in 20 innings, so I sent him back down. He just needs to develop some control at this point, or he won't really be a useful pitcher. Riley Cornelio, who's a guy I was excited for. He's pitched pretty well in AAA the last few years. he's gotten a couple innings, not much. Just kind of when we need an arm. Let's talk about Brady House a little bit. So he was crushing in AAA. He put up 21 homers in 56 games. I guess a lot of that's also recent, but I gave him a little taste of the majors. He wasn't horrible. I mean, the numbers don't look great, but he actually had a nice little run to start and then really fell off, and we needed to open up a roster spot, so I sent him back down. But overall, he was, there's some promise in Brady House there. Jacob Lopez, I think he started the year on the opening day roster. He was just hot dog water. Giving up almost 3 home runs per 9, walking too many guys, not striking out enough, worth negative 1.1 R WAR in 29 innings. So he got sent down after, being a really good pitcher for us the last 2 seasons. He's throwing 85, 100 innings. But it just hasn't worked for him this year. So hopefully we can get him back. But yeah, not been great. Riley Pint's been up for a bit. Greg Weister has not, but he's pitched well in AAA. He's probably the next guy in line. So I think that's about it to report. Let's talk about this. Jose Quintana. Jeez, I forgot about him. He was having a great season. He was probably our second best pitcher after Buehler, and went out with a partially torn labrum. So really tough. We gave him a lot of money to come in, and he was living up to it absolutely until the injury. So he'll probably miss the rest of the year, pending some miraculous comeback or something. But I think we might have made a couple minor trades too. Again, it's been a couple days since I went through this. Let me go through my transaction log. Okay, so yeah, Harrison Bader was awful. Worth negative 0.6 WAR for us. And I was just kind of tired of having him on the roster. I want to give some other guys a shot. So we flipped him for this guy, Liam O'Brien. Nothing special or anything. I actually have to move him. We made this trade actually today. So he'll go to high A, I think. But yeah, I just wanted him off the roster. Then we called up Gomez. And then a couple of minor moves. Yeah, I think that was about it. Yeah, that was the trade I wanted to talk about. But yeah, we're here at the first year player draft. Let's jump into it. I did look through this briefly. There's a couple, studs. I'd love to have a top pick in this draft and take this guy, but unfortunately, we do not. We have the 28th pick. I think that's what it said, right? 28th pick. So, yeah, that guy looks pretty good, too. Okay, let's go to our pick. And a lot of 70s and 80s, so that's good. This is all batters. Let's go to all players. Oh, my God. I mean, he's here at 28. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take him, but let me look through and make sure there's nothing I'm missing. I mean, dude. High intelligence. Who cares about loyalty? Playing in the Cape Cod League at the moment and playing pretty well. Crushed it in college. Scouts think he'd be a future ace. I definitely see it. He's only 21 and ready to pitch in the majors. I love that. Because you don't really find major league ready pitchers. Bradley Stewart's another guy. I don't like him as much just because of low control, pretty low stamina. There's no issues with. Yeah, he's 55 stamina. Yeah, this is exciting. I didn't think there was any chance that I would have taken him number 1, I think. But let me look through really quick. I'll come back and we'll make our pick. So I've got to say, I looked through a lot of this class, and man, it is generational. This guy, Danny McCormick. Wait, this is the guy I was looking at. It's one of these outfielders. Bradley Stewart was a guy I like. I don't remember. He was a college center fielder. This guy, Chris Sarver, 75 outfield range. Pretty good bat, 21 years old. I'm not taking him here. Garrett Ballman's ready to play. Has a bad personality, but another really high floor guy. There's a ton of awesome players in this class. Yeah, I mean, the other guy that I really liked was a shortstop. Where the heck is he? Jorge Lara. I like him. Good work ethic, 70 range. Although, I mean, he'd probably fall pretty far. But, yeah, I mean, I think Antelic, we're going to go with that. This has got to be the pick, man. Fastball, slider, screwball, changeup. Like, that's that's an awesome pitch mix. He's already well developed. I mean, we said the same thing about Skeens, where he wasn't really, he was a kind of a can't miss guy, but I mean, geez, this is about as good as it gets for a finished product coming out of college. So, a blessing that he drops to us, and we have a ton of money to spend. And this is a good draft to have money to spend because it looks like someone's gonna fall to us in the second round that I would really like. So, gonna go a lot over slop, but that's totally cool with me. Let's pick him up and boom, go to the second round and. We'll check out those guys that we liked. Like that shortstop, Jorge Lara. Although, I don't know. High school guys, I'd rather go with a college guy, just out of personal preference. But there were a ton of pitchers, a ton of arms that I liked. Stephen Millen was a guy I liked. Miles Taylor has a high floor. This guy's got a ton of speed. It's a fun player. Yeah, so there's a lot to look through here. Let me go off camera. We'll find a pick. Come back. All right, so I think I've settled on a pitcher here. It's gonna be one of these two guys, Zach Glickman and Joe Reed. I'm totally conflicted on this because, you know, okay, basically, Zach Glickman's like this well-rounded, you know. Lot of pitches. He has 6 pitches, which is always good because, you know, you don't know this changeup to develop or whatever. He's durable, which is awesome. And he has the same build as this other guy, Joe Reed. Joe Reed, less pitches, and, you know, it's only a fastball, sinker, curveball, which I don't like. The changeup probably won't develop. At least there's a chance it won't. And he just probably has a lower upside, even though he probably has, you know, the control will make him a better floor guy. And I'm kind of talking myself into Glickman at this point. You know, I just think he has a better floor with his pitches. And then he has a bunch of pitches that could develop, some that might not, like the changeup might not, the curveball might not, the slider might not, but I'm, you know, confident that one of them will at least, and there'll be an out pitch for him. So I think I'm going to go with Glickman as of now. Some of the guys that I was looking at, you know, a lot of these high schoolers, I don't know. I'm always skeptical when these guys are here in like the second round. The Wandale Jennings is an interesting guy. You know, he doesn't really have a defensive home, which is concerning because, you know, it's good to have versatility out there and have the ability to play these guys at different spots. Tavon Alford's interesting. He's a 21-year-old, freshly 21, but isn't really well developed. Bad personality, but does have good range. He was interesting. Then a high floor guy like Eric Bitonti, who I realize this short list is from the first draft we did when he was in high school. He's done 3 years of college since, so he's coming back at age 20 here. Still really young, high floor, and a good personality, minus the leadership, but whatever. And then Jorge Lara was probably the other guy. If I was going to go hitter, I'd probably go him, just because he has good defense. The bat just doesn't really have enough upside to take here in the second round over one of these two arms, so I'm going to go with Glickman here. We'll see who falls to the second round. It's very likely one of these guys could, and that would make it pretty easy. See, like, when Daniel Jennings is still here. So Jorge Lara is still here. Which is, you know, a guy that I was looking at last round, so he's at the top of my list. Stephen Millam is a guy I like. I just don't know if this upside is enough. This reminds me of Kason Cunningham's kind of outlook. He's like more of a second baseman and doesn't have any gap power or home run power, but has a good eye and avoid Ks. Cunningham turned into a good player, but he was expendable at the end of the day in that Rocky save. So, he's a guy I like. If he falls to the next round, I might take him, or maybe I'd take him here. We'll see. Miles Naylor was another guy I looked at in the first draft. Alex Sosa's an interesting guy, but not really a good defensive catcher. And it does look like our other pitcher there went. I wonder where he did go. Let's go to draft log really quick. So we were... Let's see. Oh, Garrett Bauman went right before. That sucks. So Joe Reed wound up going a couple picks later. Yeah. So, we were right there with kind of what we were looking at. So I think we're going to go with the shortstop. Where the heck is he? Jorge Lara. I like his defense. I would have taken him last round. He's probably the best, most versatile bat here left. I could go with a higher upside guy like Jennings, but if you haven't noticed in these series, I like to go with guys that can play a lot of different positions so I can plug them in kind of where we have needs and not have a bunch of DH first base types on the team. So let's go with Lara here. Alex Sosa's still there. So it's still a lot of good players. Sterling Patrick, I believe. Let me see. What save was he in? That he was like a minor league guy for me for a long time. That would have been the Twin save. He's not bad. Really high floor. Really no ceiling either. Although the OSA likes him quite a bit more than my scout. They think he'd be a number 4 or 5 starter, which honestly is kind of what we need. So he's definitely on my big board at this point. But it might be time to take a guy like this. Good work ethic and good intelligence. I think it's smart. Even if he doesn't have a defensive home, Taven Alford is another guy, but he just doesn't have the personality I like. Any of these guys would be good picks. But Jennings has the biggest upside, and it's a good time to pull the trigger on that in the 4th round there. So, 5th round, we still have Alex Sosa here, who just keeps piquing my interest with the high work ethic and intelligence and a really high floor as a lefty catcher. He's kind of in the same realm of offensive players, Gabriel Ruiz, where he's not a great catcher or anything, but has a great bat. There's a lot of similarities, just kind of a light version that only hits lefty. He's played really well in the Cape Cod League, for whatever that counts. There's a lot of like second base, not really second base guys. Like this guy, like the upside's there, but where the heck is he going to play defensively? He has some outfield ability, so maybe he's like a super utility guy if we, did hypothetically pull the trigger on him, but probably a little early on that. But yeah, there's a lot of guys left. I'm going to jump off, pick some, maybe I'll just send them to the end of the draft, and we'll come back with an update. Alrighty, so let's jump into what we did here. So, did we go through? Oh yeah, we took Daniel Jennings. Then our 5th round pick. This guy was really interesting. Only a 45 potential and has stamina issues, but cool personality. And honestly, some big upside here as an arm. So we rolled the dice here in the 5th round. A good spot to take him. Has a decent floor, but also, these pitches develop a little bit and maybe get some TCR with a good personality. Who knows? Then we took this guy, John Huff, in the 6th round. Durable, high floor, high school player. Just a good dart to throw at that point. Then Alex Sosa, he was just sitting there for too long. Good work ethic, and good intelligence. Only 21 with a high floor. He'll start the year in A-ball. A lot of these guys are still in the summer league, so I did remove Sosa from that and put him on my A-ball team, but everyone else will stay with their summer league teams. We took this guy Mike Adams in the 8th round. Pretty good defense and decent upside with the bat, maybe a utility guy in the future. And then Derek Tarpley was interesting. Falling into the 9th round, awesome defense. And, there's potential here with the bat. The OSA likes him a little bit more, but who knows? Maybe he turns into something. Then Aiden Camberg we took in the 10th round. Not a great defensive catcher, but decent floor, and a good depth piece to have. This guy, Jake Zatella, probably only a first baseman, can probably play a little bit of third, but he's 21, not really well developed, at least with his contact, but big power potential. Another dart to throw there in the mid rounds. Jesus Serna has some nice pitches potentially. Obviously concerns at the low floor, only 20 movement, 20 control current, but another dart. Jim Watson, good upside with some good defense. The bat might not be anything crazy, but another potential utility guy. Isaiah Drake is a high floor, low ceiling guy who's probably gonna go straight to A ball or maybe double A for me. I'm gonna remove him, and I'm gonna play him in high A. He's only 22, so still room to develop. We took this guy Joel Owen, one of the few pitchers that was left at that point. Jeremy Pilone, high floor, high intelligence, low work ethic, so maybe those cancel each other out. Derek Mitchell was incredibly interesting. Only a 40 potential, but some pretty good batting potential ratings here. So we'll see about him. He's 21. Tyne Hampshire. I took him mostly because OSA loves his power. And he's just an interesting player in the 18th round. You take tools at that point. Then Eric Becker, good leader, high floor. And Caleb Hampton we took in the 20th round. So all those picks, honestly, really interesting. And we'll see how they turn out. But anyway, we do have a trade I was working on last time I was playing this game. It was with Chicago. And this was the trade. So it's Brady House, who I don't really want to give up, but we have some depth at third base. And I think Antonio is our guy long term. Again, he's not necessarily a guy I want to give up, but in this trade, I think it makes sense. And then Noah DeOyer, who was a Rule 5 pick years ago, just never really panned out for us as anything really significant. We're going to flip him for Evan Phillips, who they'll eat his entire contract, and he's exactly what we need. And Joe Jimenez, who's another, top 10 reliever in baseball. He's had trouble with the home run ball this year, and walks, but I think he could turn it around with us. And they're going to eat, these guys make a lot of money, which is one of the reasons that this trade is, feasible for us. So I need to have them eat. I could technically eat the whole deal, but I'd rather not. See if I can get them down without giving up a prospect I like. Yeah, most of those guys they interest me enough. Let's see. Yeah, this really hasn't even made a dent. So, I'd be cool giving this guy up. He's probably only a reliever long term. Not really great. He's having a good season in Double A, but he's 25, almost 26. I'm cool giving him up. And I think they'd probably eat. Yeah. They eat a lot. They would eat a lot of these deals if I threw him in, so that makes a lot of sense. Selling high on him. They'll eat a ton of that money. I wonder if we take out Brady House. Yeah, they still want him. Yeah, so Brady House is going to have to be the guy who goes in this deal, unfortunately. I don't really want to give up on him this quick, though. That's the thing. I know one of these guys I can pretty much get for nothing. It's both of them that's the problem. I probably prefer Phillips over Jimenez, but I do want both of them. What if we just ate all of this money? Something like that. Yeah, so they really just want the players. So is there anyone else in here that's, I'm kind of just glossing over? I mean, Grant Hussey is a guy that I like. He was our 11th overall pick last season, but hasn't really hit too well in AAA this season. And I don't know if he has a clear path to playing time. Yeah. let me see. So if we did this, if we just picked up Phillips, this would be a lot easier. Aldonis is a top 2 or top 20 guy in our system. I still have some hope for him. Brendan Collins is a guy I'd give up. He's pitched pretty well in AAA, but we have a bunch of these like quad A relievers, so I'm cool giving him up. So, all right, back to this trade. So, they do want to get both these guys are on the trading block, so I know they want to get rid of them. Oh man! All right, what if we throw in like some mid-level prospect? Like, I don't know if I'm ready to give on Wolkow yet. I think I might be at this point. Brenner Cox is interesting as a two-way guy, but I'd give him up. That moved the needle at all. I threw in Trey Lipscomb. Do I really think this guy's a good player? I don't know. That's such a good question. I don't know if he's a good player or not. I kind of wish I had an answer this season. I mean, he still has value as a utility guy, but is he just taking up a roster spot at this point? I'm not sure. All right, let me figure out this trade. I'll come back and an update when we do. All right, so kind of a similar trade. I swapped out Joe Jimenez, whose price tag was just honestly too high for me, and I got comparable reliever, Jason Adam, and they're going to eat his entire deal, and it's a lot cheaper. Like ridiculously cheaper. He's been horrible in 12 innings, but there is reason to think he can turn it around and be a good middle reliever for us. And then we're also getting Evan Phillips, who's the main piece of this deal. But also we pick up Jose Rodriguez, who's a useful utility infielder. Last option year, so I don't know. We'll see what his future holds next season. And then Ricardo Sanchez, who is a Nashville Stampede legend, and I just want to bring him in here, even though he's out of options. He's on a minor league deal, so if we need an arm, I know I can count on him to give me some quality innings. So the package is basically nothing. Cody Cleveland's like the headliner, I guess, 26 years old, been playing well in AAA, but I just do not have a spot for him. And he deserves to get a shot somewhere, so really happy to give him up and give him a shot. Wilmer Ortega is a 25-year-old in High A. Marlon Perez is a 26-year-old in Double A. Not having a great year. Nick Pogue is a 26-year-old playing actually illegally in High A at the moment. And Alika Williams, the guy I just waived and didn't really want on my AAA roster anymore because he was taking at bats. So basically nothing for these guys. One of the cheesier trades that I've done in OOTP, and my assistant GM Mike Rizzo definitely agrees. But I get it. They want to get out from. They're not getting out from any of this money, so this really just makes no sense. But I haven't done one of these trades in a while, so I kind of wanted to. So we're going to pull through with that. And we'll have to find a spot for Adam and Phillips on the roster. This has all happened on draft day, too, so very busy time for the squad. Do I want to roll with Anderson or Gomez? They're both really good arms, honestly. And I don't want to necessarily send down either of them, but I want to give Gomez an extended look here. So we'll add both these guys to the active roster. Jose Rodriguez needs to be added, so we have to DFA someone. Jeremy De La Rosa is out for 2 weeks. He's not really a 60-day IL guy. Riley Pint has options, so I don't really want to give up on him yet. There's not really an obvious guy. Jorge Vera, I don't want to lose him if he did get claimed. How many options? He has 1 year left after this. Yeah, I think it'll be Greg Weissert. He'll probably pass through waivers, honestly, but we do add Rodriguez to the team. Okay, so we'll keep Simmon ahead, see how we do with the new look team. And Evan Phillips will probably slide into our closer's role. Montero can move to lower leverage, where he probably should have been all along. Phillips is a free agent at the end of the year, so I don't have to worry about arbitration. And this team is suddenly looking pretty formidable, so we'll keep Simmon, come up to the deadline, and see if there's any moves we need to make at that point. Really quick before we get to the deadline, let's go through All-Stars, see if there's anyone familiar with the team. Probably not. We haven't had a lot of talent leave. We have had talent come in, but not really had on the way out. Aaron Ashby having a heck of a season for St. Louis. Gavin Hollowell, still a stud starter for them, for San Diego. That's cool to see. Ohtani having a nice bounce-back year pitching after being awful last season for Philly. And Keeper Ruiz makes it. We didn't have any Walker Buehler, which I kind of thought he might have a shot, but oh man, Spencer Strider, holy crap. He was actually much better before this last start, but holy crap, what a season. So yeah, we have Keeper Ruiz here. Much deserved. Fortunately, no Cole Henry, which sucks. He's had definitely an all-star worthy season. And then Carlos Correa over at shortstop, getting the start. That is really cool. And then James Wood out in left field. So 3 hitters, which is definitely the most we've had. I don't know if we've even had 2 hitters before. But really cool to see. Yeah, we'll come back around the deadline, see if there's moves to make. Okay, well, this game is sometimes broken, so I'm not going to do this trade because this is completely ridiculous. But I was just talking about how good of a season Gavin Hollowell, or how good of a pitcher he's turned into. And they are literally willing to give him for nothing. I was just looking to trade for Christian Vasquez. I threw Hollowell in there for the heck of it, and then they wanted me to throw in Jack Renwick, who's a 24-year-old, 20th round pick. This is just stupid, so we're not going to do that, but this is the trade I'm going to do. Christian Vasquez, pick him up as a backup catcher, good personality. We're getting Greg Weiser, who just waived and DFA'd, so works out well. Honestly, I might give up someone else on my 40 just to get rid of that spot. So, I mean, Jacob Lopez has been so bad, but he's been better in AAA. I'm not ready to give up on him. Riley Pine's probably the guy. Okay, now they want me to throw someone else in. Jack Renwick has a ton of value, so I'm not going to do that, but he's like a guy they asked to throw in with like some of my top tier guys, so it's not smart to give him up in this trade, but maybe we'll just waive in DFA Pint then. So yeah, we're going to do this trade 1 for 1. And our team likes the new leadership of Christian Vasquez, so that takes away one of the holes in our lineup, which has been Pineda. He's actually out of options. Shoot. I don't think he'll get claimed. Let me shop him around really quick. Forgot he was out of options. That's why he was on the roster in the first place. That was a... okay, yeah, he wouldn't get... I don't think he'd get claimed. So we'll add Vasquez. If he does get claimed, whatever, that's fine. He wasn't really doing anything anyway. So that gives us a real defensive catcher to back up Ruiz and gives us a little bit of offensive juice at least. We did call up Brady House. I sent back down Robert Hassel. He's a guy I might look to trade in the upcoming days, but we'll get to that in the next update. All right, I really don't trust our rotation here coming down the stretch, so I'm going to get the best starter available. Zach Gallen having a pretty good year. Free agent at the end of the season. We're going to flip him for Patrick Sandoval, who I like, but just has not shown much in the rotation. And George Wolkow, who was a former 7th-round pick, who just has not been able to hit an A-ball so far. Could very well develop into a good player, but we have depth, at the corner infield positions. So they're going to eat most of the deal, and we're going to give them Sandoval, who's a good starter for them to finish out the year. He is a free agent at the end of the season, so not a big loss on our part. So we're going to complete this trade. And, we'll add Gallen to the team. And he's not ready to start today, so we need a spot starter. Tink Hens could probably make the start. I think he's good to go. Yeah. And we win 12-3, so big day for Correa. He's been on a nice little tear since the All-Star break. Antuna continues to hit. Ruiz as well. The offense has been mostly good. Jason Adam was so bad in the first game. He single-handedly blew this game against LA. We got swept against them right after the All-Star break. So we'll move Hens back to the bullpen for now. But, I mean, if Skeens keeps pitching like crap, I mean, we're going to have to make a decision on him, what his role is down the stretch. But I think that'll probably wrap up the episode. There's just something to the deadline here in case, there's an injury or something. We need to make a last-second move. Yeah, I don't really want to give up Armando Cruz. He hasn't developed, but he's still a good glove and could be a useful utility guy down, in the future, down the line. But 5-hit day for Keibert Ruiz. He's been crushing it since the All-Star break. James Wood looks like he had a home run. Brady House, I called him back up, and he's played pretty well. So, I'm not ready. I wasn't ready to trade him just because I thought he had some potential. Could add some pop to this lineup that kind of needs it. Although not nearly as much this season. We're fourth in home runs. Dylan Floro, a dude we had last year, up on the trade block. And Orelves Martinez. We've made so many trades with the White Sox, though. I don't want to trade with them again. All this for Nicky Lopez. I don't know. I think we're good. Trey Lipscomb's also played. He had a nice little game. I guess he hasn't played well in the other appearances he's made, but yeah, keeps him up to the deadline. I'm sure we'll get some other trade offers. Also, we're currently out of the playoff picture after a 2-0 loss to Tampa Bay. Buehler pitched well. I mean, he's been pretty good. We just haven't gotten any run support for him, so. But there's really no other way we can upgrade the offense. Like, we're pretty good in every spot. So we win 4-2 in this one. Cade Cavalli, decent start. Looks like it didn't last too long. Just racked up his pitch count with 4 walks, but the bullpen does a good job. We got out of that one. So I think that'll wrap up this episode. And hopefully next time we're back with the playoffs. I bet we'll have a tight race to get in, but I mean, this team's kind of ready. 3rd in runs scored, 10th in runs against, but I think things could get better. Paul Skeens has just been so bad this season. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to cut him back to, I have him at 90 right now. I'm going to throw him back to 80 pitches. I don't want to move him to the bullpen yet, but it's looking like it's heading in that direction here. But hopefully Gallen, let's him today. Let's get Gallen his first start. See how he does. And we win 9-1, so that's a good sign. Brady House, 4 RBIs. Nice. Gallen, an awesome start. So there we go. That'll wrap up the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Like if you enjoyed and you made it this far. I always forget to do that, or plug that, I guess. And I forgot to call up CJ Abrams, but that's fine. But yeah, we'll be back next time. Peace.